A man from the internet tried to lure my 11-year-old daughter into meeting him in real life. It didn't happen overnight. It started quietly in ways I didn't notice until it was too late. One week she was wearing Pokemon shirts and begging me to buy slime kits. The next I was rushing through stores buying her first bras and trying to find clothes in the junior section that didn't look like they belonged in a nightclub. First I blamed it all on hormones. Some girls hit puberty early, I told myself. This was normal. It wasn't. The first sign came in a Target aisle. She mentioned, like she was talking about the weather, that a man had followed us through 3 sections of the store. She wasn't afraid. She was just aware. That terrified me more than if she'd been crying. That night I checked her iPad while she slept. Her search history made my stomach twist. Wattpad stories about older men and younger girls. Dark romance novels. YouTube videos about feminine energy. Tutorials on how to act seductive, how to walk in heels, how to flirt without looking like you're flirting. This was not normal curiosity. When I tried to take the iPad away, she exploded. She threw therapy terms at me like weapons. You're gaslighting me. This is abusive. I'm allowed to set boundaries. She didn't fully understand the words, but she knew they made me freeze. Suddenly I was the villain. I was the one controlling her life. Her friends changed too. The girls in her class became immature. She started hanging around older girls, high schoolers who waved to her at pickup. And then the lying began. She said she was going to the library. I found out she was at Starbucks. Emma's mom in her contacts turned out to be a fake name for someone else. She learned to delete specific messages. She cleared certain parts of her browsing history. She locked her phone with new passwords every few days. Face ID was disabled so I couldn't unlock it while she slept. In her room I heard the clicking of heels for hours as she practiced walking like a woman. At dinner she crossed her legs like an adult and joined conversations she shouldn't have understood. At her spring concert she altered her black dress, shortened the hem, tightened the waist. When she walked across the stage I saw some dads in the audience turn their heads and stare too long. And I saw her notice. She smiled. That was the moment I realized something was deeply wrong. I started checking her devices every chance I got. That's when I saw the app. Discord. I thought it was just for gaming. I opened it. Hundreds of messages from someone named Jake. His profile showed a teen in a Bulls jersey holding a basketball. First I thought he might be 16. But the way he wrote was too polished. Too calculated. He told her she was mature for her age. That her mom didn't understand how special she was. It was classic grooming. He gave her instructions for the next day. She was to tell me she had a group project at the library. Instead, she was supposed to meet him at Millennium Park near the Bean at 2 p. My hands shook as I screenshotted everything. I ran his profile picture through a reverse image search. Nothing came up. My stomach dropped. I called the non-emergency police line. They told me to bring the evidence to the station. By 6 a.m. I couldn't wait anymore. I printed everything and laid it on the kitchen table. When she came down for cereal I watched her face change. Confusion. Shock. Then a mask, cold, calculating. She screamed about her privacy. She slammed her door. I drove to the police station anyway. Detective Monica Torres was off duty, in jeans and a college sweatshirt, but she listened to me. She said she had a 14-year-old daughter and this couldn't wait. She agreed to help. When I got home Lily was gone. Her bedroom window was open. A note on her bed said, "Going to library, back by dinner." Her location on Find My Phone was already moving toward Chicago. Called Monica. She issued an alert immediately. At 11:30 a.m. She called back. Jake's username matched other cases in Illinois. Officers were heading to Millennium Park. Monica told me to keep texting Lily like nothing was wrong. I told her I'd pick her up from the library at 5. Lily sent back a thumbs up emoji. She was already at the park an hour early. I watched her dot on the screen move toward the north entrance. At 1:47 p.m. It stopped. Monica texted, "We have eyes on her." Then she sent a photo. A man mid-30s, Cubs cap, walking toward my daughter. He sat beside her. Showed her something on his phone. Her body language shifted, confusion then fear. Then he grabbed her wrist. Officers swarmed. He tried to walk away casually. They tackled him. Lily stumbled back and fell onto the grass. Her whole body shook. I ran the 2 blocks to her like my life depended on it. By the time I got there, she was wrapped in a blanket sitting with a female officer. Her eyes were wide and blank. All the fake confidence was gone. She looked like what she really was, an 11-year-old girl who had just escaped something terrible. When she saw me, her face crumpled. "Mom," she whispered. I dropped to my knees and pulled her into my arms. She clung to me like she used to after nightmares. Monica came over holding evidence bags with Lily's phone and tablet. She said we'd need to go to the station for an interview. Lily didn't argue. She just held my hand. They took us to a soft interview room, not like the interrogation rooms you see on TV. The walls were light blue. There were 2 armchairs instead of metal chairs. A woman from Child Services named Carol sat with us. She explained to Lily that she wasn't in trouble. She said they just needed to understand what happened. Monica handled the questioning. Her voice was calm, careful, but her eyes stayed sharp. Lily admitted Jake's real name was Nathan. She said he told her he played basketball, that his parents were divorcing, that she was different from other girls. That age didn't matter. She said she'd sent him pictures, just bathing suits and vacation photos. Carol and Monica exchanged a look. I knew those photos could still count as exploitation. My stomach turned. The interview took hours. They gave Lily breaks when she got too anxious to breathe. Each time she reached for my hand like she was drowning. Afterward, she met with a crisis counselor while I waited outside. The waiting room felt like another planet. Other people were there for parking tickets, stolen bikes. I wanted to scream. When we got home, she barely touched her dinner. I made hot chocolate with marshmallows and whipped cream like when she was little. She sat at the table wrapped in a blanket, holding the mug with both hands. "Is Jake going to jail?" she asked. Her voice was so small I almost didn't hear it. I didn't know how to answer. That night my sister Grace drove in from Milwaukee. She took one look at me and pulled me into a hug that made me break down. When Lily went to bed, I showed Grace the screenshots. Her face hardened. She works in software. She started pulling up accounts I didn't even know existed. Snapchat, Telegram, fake usernames. On TikTok, Lily had claimed she was 16 and from California. Grace made a spreadsheet. She matched dates with Lily's mood swings and behavior changes. It was worse than I'd imagined. Then Monica called again. Nathan Reeves, 34 years old, an IT consultant from Aurora. The photos he used belonged to a real 16-year-old boy named Tyler Morrison from Wisconsin. Tyler had no idea his pictures were being used. Nathan had been talking to 12 other girls. Lily was the first he'd arranged to meet. The police needed my consent to analyze all of Lily's devices. I signed immediately. Lily cried about her privacy. I didn't care anymore. That weekend we sat at the kitchen table together. Her iPad and phone were sealed in evidence bags. She looked small again in her oversized hoodie. She whispered that Jake told her parents never understood, that she was different, that love was real. She still called him Jake. Monday morning Monica called with news that froze my blood. Nathan had made bail. $50,000. He was out. No internet access, no contact with minors, but he was only 20 minutes away. That day I installed new locks, deadbolts, chain locks, window bars. Every noise at night made my heart jump. The next morning Lily refused to go to school. She sat on her bed staring at her uniform. "Everyone will know," she whispered. I didn't force her. I called my job and said I had a family emergency. We spent the day watching Disney movies. She curled against me like she hadn't in years. Every time a phone buzzed in the movie, she flinched. That afternoon we had our first appointment with Dr. Rachel Kim, a child psychologist Monica recommended. Her office was warm and full of stuffed animals. Lily went straight to the markers and started drawing. Rachel explained that predators target girls who feel different, who grow up too fast. It made horrible sense. That night Lily asked to sleep in my bed. She brought Mr. Elephant, the stuffed animal she'd hidden away when she decided she was too old for toys. I woke to find her sitting up, staring at the wall. "Will Jake come find me?" she asked. I told her no. I wasn't sure I believed it. The next morning the school principal called. He asked me to come in. I thought it was to talk about supporting Lily. I was wrong. He said parents had complained. They claimed Lily was influencing their daughters. Screenshots showed her teaching other girls how to lie to their parents, how to delete messages. The tricks Nathan had taught her. I felt sick. When I picked her up that afternoon, a group of PTA moms cornered her in the parking lot. Their daughters stood behind them. One mother yelled that my daughter had corrupted hers. Another demanded to know how I could let an 11-year-old dress like a 16-year-old. Lily stood silent, backed against the car. She looked so small. I stepped between them. I told them their daughters were one message away from being victims too. That Lily had been groomed. That the man who did it was facing federal charges. Phones were recording. The principal rushed out to break it up. By dinner the Facebook parent group was on fire. Accusations. Judgment. Panic. Grace came over to help me monitor the online chaos. While she worked, I helped Lily with her homework packet. She kept asking, "Does everyone hate me now?" I didn't have an answer. The next day Monica came back. They'd found more victims, 4 more girls. One in Indiana had sent explicit photos. Monica needed Lily to give a video deposition. Lily agreed, her hands shaking. That night Lily's father David called from Japan. He'd found out through his mother. He accused me of negligence. Said his lawyer would file for emergency custody. Said I'd failed to protect her. When he hung up I just stood there numb. I wasn't just fighting a predator. I was fighting her father too. Rachel scheduled an emergency therapy session. She taught us breathing exercises for panic attacks. Lily admitted she still missed Jake sometimes. She felt ashamed. Rachel told her that was normal. The feelings were real, even if Jake wasn't. The days blurred. I tried working from home but couldn't focus. At Target a man in a Cubs hat walked past our cart. Lily froze. She started hyperventilating in the cereal aisle. We left without groceries. Then Monica called again. Nathan's defense team wanted a plea deal. Said he never claimed to be a teen. The prosecutor was confident, but warned it could take months. The principal called again. This time he suggested Lily stay in online school, permanently. I recorded the call just like Grace told me to. Later that night Grace called me over to her apartment. Her dining table was covered in papers. Her laptop had dozens of tabs open. She'd found something worse than we'd imagined. Nathan had hacked into the school district's parent portal 3 months ago. There was a security flaw no one had fixed. He'd searched specifically for single or divorced mothers with daughters aged 10 to 14. He hadn't found Lily by accident. He'd hunted her. We went straight to the police. Monica reviewed the evidence and made calls. Within an hour, 2 FBI agents arrived. Hacking into school systems moved the case from state to federal. More resources. More power. And more exposure. The FBI took over the case. Rachel, the therapist, suggested Lily join an online support group for girls who'd been through the same thing. The first meeting she barely spoke. She just listened. At the end she unmuted herself and said, "Hi." It was small but it was everything. A week later Tyler's mom reached out. Tyler was the real 16-year-old boy whose photos Nathan had stolen. She was crying. Her son was being bullied. People called him a predator when he was a victim too. We set up a video call. Lily was terrified to see Jake's face, even if it was Tyler. But Tyler talked about how Nathan had ruined his life too. How he had to change schools. How he deleted all his accounts. By the end they were both crying. They apologized to each other for things neither of them had caused. Then the custody battle began. David showed up to court in a tailored suit. He played the role of devoted father. He claimed I was negligent. That Lily needed stability. His lawyer painted me as distracted and overwhelmed. My lawyer responded with years of documentation. Late child support, missed birthdays, unanswered calls. Lily sat outside on a bench, biting her nails down to nothing. The judge interviewed her in chambers for 40 minutes. When she came out, she walked right past David without looking at him. The judge ruled she would stay with me. We tried to build something normal again. Sunday became tech-free day. No phones. No tablets. Board games and walks instead. Grace started teaching Lily basic coding over video chat. Python. Lily picked it up quickly. Then Monica called with a jolt of news. Nathan had been caught at a public library using their computers. His bail was revoked. He was back in custody. It helped our case, but it didn't erase the fear. David's first supervised visit happened at a family center that smelled like old carpet and disinfectant. A social worker sat in the corner taking notes. Lily answered every question with one word. When David criticized me, her head snapped up. "You weren't even there," she said. "You don't get to judge." His face went pale. Weeks later, Lily asked to attend an in-person support group. I drove her to the community center. She came out an hour later with red eyes but smiling. "I'm not the only one," she said. That sentence broke something in me. The FBI called soon after. Nathan had victims in 4 states. 12 confirmed. They asked if Lily would testify federally if needed. Before I could answer, she said yes. That same week my job let me go. My leave had expired. I couldn't pretend I was managing marketing accounts while my daughter prepared to face her predator in court. They gave me severance and 6 months of insurance. Grace helped me update my resume. Lily asked if we were poor now. She offered to sell her older clothes. I told her that was her choice when she was ready. Months later, the state trial began. Jury selection was brutal. Finding 12 people who wouldn't blame a child was harder than it should be. Lily testified via closed-circuit TV. Her voice didn't shake. She told them Jake made her feel special. Mature. The defense tried to twist her words. She didn't let them. "I was 11, she said. He lied about everything." Tyler took the stand next. He told the jury how his identity was stolen. How he became a pariah at school. When the defense tried to blame him for having public photos, he fired back. "That's not how this works." 3 more girls testified. 1 from Ohio. 1 from Texas. 1 from Florida. Their stories matched Lily's almost exactly. Predators follow patterns. Nathan's was textbook. Then Nathan himself took the stand. He claimed he thought Lily was older. He claimed confusion. The prosecutor read messages about her 5th grade classes and birthday party plans. His story collapsed. For the first time I saw his mask crack. He went red in the face and snapped at the prosecutor. The jury saw the predator beneath the polish. During a break, I ran into his parents. His mother begged me to understand. Said Nathan had been abused too. I couldn't answer. I walked away. Closing arguments painted 2 opposite pictures. A predator versus a misunderstood man. Lily texted me from home. "They're gaslighting the jury." She wasn't wrong. 3 days of deliberation nearly broke me. Lily handled it better. "I told the truth," she said. "That's all I can do." The verdict came. Guilty on all counts. I collapsed sobbing. Other parents of victims cried too. Nathan showed no emotion. He just stared ahead. Lily wanted to speak at sentencing. She worked with Rachel to make sure her voice wouldn't shake. "You stole my childhood," she told him. "But you didn't break me." She wore her Pokemon shirt, the one from before she thought she had to be older than she was. Nathan got 25 years. Lifetime supervision. Sex offender registry. No parole. Grace launched her Guardian Angel app, designed to detect grooming language without violating privacy. She listed Lily as a consultant. 2% of profits would go to her college fund. The principal called to say Lily could return to school if she wanted. Parents had seen the trial. Some even advocated for her. She wasn't sure yet, but having the choice mattered. David's appeal for sole custody fell apart. He tried to blame me for not knowing what Discord was. The judge asked if he knew what it was. He admitted he didn't until after. Case closed. Nathan's federal appeal was denied. Monica called to tell me he'd been attacked in prison. He was now in protective custody. I didn't feel anything. Neither did Lily. She started 7th grade at a new school where no one knew her story. She joined the art club. She kept her phone in her bag. She made pancakes on Saturdays as a grounding exercise. She talked about a boy in art class who was cute but immature. We talked about getting a dog. We stopped flinching at every phone buzz. That was our miracle.